A lot of the times I went in his room and he was not in the room. He will open the window, and one night at like at 11 o'clock, I heard the noise that the alarm does. He escaped from the window, and I just waited until he came home. Yeah. And then I knew that that he was doing drugs and he was in a lot of problems.
And drugs kind of allowed me to have this lifestyle that was like a dream. It was like something out of a movie.
One time he had like a black eye, and I asked him what happened. No, he said we were doing fighting, with the gloves, but just playing.
So here's the difference between a regular person and an addict. Like a regular person will stop using when they get a negative consequence. Normally getting caught, somebody was like, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. An addict says, I'm never going to get caught again like this.
And I knew, as a mother, that he's lying.
When you're using, every single day your life is on the line. Every single day, like the hard time, you might get pulled over, something might happen, something crazy is about to happen on a minute-to-minute basis. Sometimes, like, it's not even the drugs we miss, it's just the lifestyle. There's something about having something that people need where you could be like, yo, come pick me up. And someone's like, why would I pick you up? And you're like, 6th grade. And you're like, I'll smoke you out. They're like, I'll be right there, So like, it's the power and the manipulation that's the first addiction. Like the first time I got high, why did I get high? It wasn't to get high because I'd never been high before. The first time I got high was to feel accepted.
He took a pill of Adderall and he sniffed the pill in the class. And I thought, this is maybe to bring attention, because knowing Bryan, he always wanted to be the attention of the crowd.
So when does it go from weed to something harder?
So I got arrested in 7th grade with 18 grams of weed. I swore to God I was Pablo Escobar. Like a lot of money, a lot of weed at the time, and I had them all in baggies, and I made my own bags, and I was selling them at school, and I had a bunch of 5s and 20s in my wallet, and I had a gold chain, and I had like a blowout, and I remember being like in 7th grade, really thinking like I was a big time drug dealer, and I got arrested for the first time.
Soon I got the phone call. They said, you have to come and pick up Bryan. This is the police, and he said the name, and I went and picked him up.
So then I get drug tested. So I start to have to think about, what else can I do that's going to come out your system faster? And I got introduced to cocaine, and somebody's friend left it at my house. And I remember, like, this is crazy, cocaine, this is wild. And a couple of weeks went by, and I asked them how much it cost, and it was expensive. You got to buy at least a gram. And I'm like, how much is that? Like $50. And I was like, $50?
Yeah.
I could smoke for a week with $50,
right.
And then I learned something else, that like I could buy an 8-ball and then cut it and then sell it and then do it, and then like overnight I became a cokehead. Wow. And this is like the end of 7th grade. And then when I did opiates, I started to meet other opiate addicts, and I had no idea that this was such a hard drug because it was a pill.
Right.
So I was like, I'm just doing pills. This is actually a step down from cocaine, I thought.
Right.
And when I was doing pills, I actually got introduced to crack.
First it started out like I had scripts, so we would just fucking hang out and get high, and then when I didn't have it, he would pay for it. And we had like a little arrangement. We had like an understanding where we just chilled and it was mutual. It didn't get into the scummy drug side of it till later.
By the time I was 17, I remember I had been arrested like 3 more times. I've been kicked out of 2 more schools. I had no friends. No one would really answer my call. I would call people for rides or help, and people would kind of like laugh at me and hang up on me. I remember a lot of like my childhood friends were just done with me. My family was done with me. My sister just telling me like I was like an embarrassment. Like it's just embarrassing. Like all the things she hears about me, and had pawned and sold everything.
He started not taking showers. We noticed that his teeth was like, Bryan, you're not washing your teeth? Like, you're not brushing your teeth? Why you not, they look yellow. You don't take a shower? One day, it was a Sunday afternoon. He was like, bottom. And my husband said, you need help. We can help you. And with tears in his eye, he said, I need help.
And I remember we had an intervention, and they were like, you need to get clean, tell us what's going on. And I broke down crying. I told them I'm addicted to opiates. And I had never said that out loud. I'd never said I'm addicted to opiates. Like, saying that, I knew I could never go back to that.
Nobody, not even one person thought that he could be free of drugs.
I told them I need to go to detox. My parents said, what's detox? And I was like, dude, I need to get in someplace. And being an adolescent, there's no facilities for adolescents. Like, we had good insurance, and she called the insurance company, and they're like, we're sorry, but like, we don't have adolescent treatment on here. Like, if he was 18, we might be able to help him. Wow. And I remember like waiting for a bed at Fort Lauderdale Hospital, which like getting there at 10 a.m. and not getting in until 10 p.m. But because I was so young, I was such a high risk, and like I finally got into Fort Lauderdale.
Not everybody gets clean and becomes like this recovery, obsessed weirdo.
The dream of becoming clean, it was not his dream first. The dream was my dream, because I always told him that he could do it.
My name is Hilda Grindell, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker for Memorial Regional Hospital. Bryan was a client of mine back when we had the STEPS program, and it was a day treatment program that dealt with co-occurring disorders, substance abuse, mental health. And Bryan came in, I think he was 17 when he came in. Bryan was one of my most difficult cases, actually. Bryan didn't think he had a substance abuse issue, and there was a lot of other stuff going on, and in a very few short, time, he had done almost every drug. And that was the most scariest. We really had to get down to the nitty-gritty. But Bryan, I would say, was, he was tough. He was a tough cookie.
My first 5-6 years in recovery, that's all I did. I just wanted to help everybody that was on drugs. I would try to get my friends clean. All I did was go to meetings. I sponsored a ton of people. I remember being 19 years old, and I had 3 years clean, and I couldn't wait to go to my home group. I couldn't wait to go out to eat with everybody. I couldn't wait to go see one of my friends speak.
So when I first got clean, I didn't have a car. My mom would take me to meetings, and I remember the meeting that I would go to is right behind this IHOP, and I remember my mom would drop me off at this McDonald's because I was embarrassed that my mom was dropping me off. This meeting was 7 nights a week, 10 o'clock at night. I sat outside this parking lot my entire first year of high school, just hanging out, talking. People would be skateboarding, some would be listening to music. People would be sitting on people's tailgates, hanging out. The meeting would go on. Sometimes they'd have, on every Friday I was here from 8:30 to 11:30 at night. And we'd all go out to eat after. We'd all go to the IHOP. And to me, that community is what helped me get clean, being around other addicts, being around other people that had years clean, that were supporting each other. I always say, that human connection is what makes people want to get clean. That human connection is something that addicts don't have. When I got clean, I truly feel the first time I came to meetings, particularly this meeting, is when I started to get a connection with other people.
Addiction is something that's deeper than that, and without support, it's not just a choice, it's something that you're gonna live with no understanding of.
And the reality is that I stopped using drugs one day at a time. I went to 12-step meetings. I consistently went to 12-step meetings. I did the work that they asked me to do. I changed the way I thought. I found some type of relationship with the universe, the higher power, that has helped guide me in time. times when I felt weak, I made connections with other people that were going through the same thing, and then I just consistently kept doing that. Then I got to a point where I might be able to help somebody else, and then it all came together at that point. And then you just keep doing that over and over and over again, and the results are the same.
I don't have like all these degrees to be a clinical, person. Like, I'm just an addict, and that's what I have to offer them. I don't want to go in there and, tell them what their treatment plan should be or what their discharge plan should be or try to do therapy. Like, that's the counselor's job, that's the clinician's job. And so like, this is like what I bring to the table. It's just like my personal experience,
Treatment. So I actually got a job as a behavioral health technician at a treatment center, and that's what I did for like a year, and I loved it. I loved being a tech. It was like the coolest job in the whole world. I couldn't believe that I was even getting paid to like hang out with kids that were just getting clean and take them to meetings and driving around and talk them off a ledge every once in a while. And in the back of my mind, I always want to open a treatment center. Like, I remember when I worked at that treatment center and the owner asked me one day, like, oh, you're the kid who's going to be a lawyer. And I remember thinking, like, I don't want to be a lawyer. Like, I want to be you, dude.
Whatever Bryan does, if Bryan puts his mind to it, he will succeed. And the fact that he's doing a substance abuse is like, wow. I'm so amazed with him.
I think at first, when people say, oh, your boss is 27, or when I tell somebody that, my boss has been clean 10 years, and he got clean at 17, and people say, oh, wow, he's 27 years old. I think at first, people definitely think like, there's no way he knows what he's doing. He's a kid. But to be honest, I think that it helps the clients feel like, wow, he's kind of my age and look where he is, and it gives them hope.
So we didn't have any money to go put him in some fancy rehab center. I didn't even know where to begin with how to do this, what to do. And then he told me about this kid, Bryan, that Derek used to surf with his brother. And he told me Bryan was younger than him and he had all these years clean. And I immediately got on Facebook and private messaged this kid, Bryan, who I had never met, didn't know me from a hole in the wall, and spilled my guts like a desperate mother seeking help. And this boy, Bryan, helped me from day one, didn't know me, knew of my son, but never hung out with him. Helped me from day one, what to do, how to do it. He invited me to a meeting he was speaking at, and I'm like, how am I gonna go to an NA meeting? Like, how am I gonna get through this? And I went by myself, and I sat there, and that was the first time I laid eyes on Bryan, and I felt a connection with him immediately, and I listened to him speak, and as a mother, all I saw was a little boy. And his story, it killed me. Tell him I love him every night, every single night. I text him and tell him I love him and how proud I am of him. And he needs to keep going. And I'm a happy mommy. That's my words, happy mommy. As long as my kids are good, I'm good.
So proud of him. I'm proud of a lot of my students, but Bryan more so than any other student I've ever taught, and I've been here for 18 years. Because not only did he turn his life around completely, he's turned everybody else's lives around him completely. And I've been to his talks and I've been to his sessions, and they love him. He's funny. He relates to the kids he's talking to. They admire him, and he has their respect.
The clients can think about their families, what they put their families through, not just like, it's not just them in there, their families are, in there with them thinking about it.
It's not easy because every day you have to put a mask and you have to smile because because I work as an agent, so I do life insurance and investments, and I see people all the time, and I'm in a different house every day, and I have to smile. I had to smile. I had to put my my mask, but when I got home, I had to face my reality, and it was not easy, but I always knew that it was not forever.
So my whole goal is that society sees recovery as like a normal thing. I've been doing this longer than I've been doing drugs, or that I did drugs for.
And I think it doesn't matter where you come from, but what it really matters is where you're going.
I got a call from Bryan one day asking, if I wanted to come work with him here. And I know Bryan, I know how he carries himself. And I thought, what better place to come work than here?
It's really cool to see how far, you can come with recovery.
Bryan is one of the few individuals that I can say has truly overcame an enormous obstacle that I'm still battling with. And every day for me to stay clean or for me to not decide to go back to that, it's a choice that seems pretty easy, because who wants to go back to that kind of pain if you know that's what it was? And to people that are in addiction, there's hope, and even for the worst of us, because I consider myself at the top of the tree when it comes to things that make you a bad person. But he did those same things, and he's in a place where people would be proud to say he's their friend, as am I. And I just want people to know that there is hope, and that if you work hard enough and devote yourself to a program, you can change your life. People always have good in them, and your actions throughout the period of your life don't define you. It's the things that you let define yourself that make you who you are. Other people's opinions and judgments all come and go and change. When you finally realize that you're important and that your life is worth more, addiction is just an obstacle, and all of that can be overcome.